All right, Coach, you ready?
All set.
Adam, go ahead and get us started. Throw a hand up if you got a question.
Well, Jake, thanks for doing this. Right off the top, do you have updates on Bruce and Scotty?
Yeah, I think, Bruce was able to practice some yesterday, and, we're anticipating him being available. Scotty's, currently still with his family, and, our thoughts and prayers are with him. And so no further updates on that yet.
Is there a timeline for when he could potentially get back, or is there anything you can say about kind of long term, like what this might look like?
There's no real issues or concerns long term as far as like immediate timeline, just no real updates there yet.
And then how does that impact your prep for this game? Obviously, you've had a little bit more time to prepare than you did for Cornell. But what situations do for your preparations for the Hokies?
Yeah, I think, we'll just kind of continue based on availability and practice preparing. We've talked before about the depth of this team, how it's a real strength. And, even this last month, we've had to play some big games without some major pieces. So our team's adjusted. They've shown an ability to adjust well to this. And, I don't anticipate that being an issue.
So Andy Backstrom, then Tim Miller. Andy.
Yeah, Jake, what's it been like to have a little bit of a breather now after just a whirlwind of the last week to actually have some time to really have game prep and then also just take a deep breath?
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that deep breath, but it has been nice to to have the game prep and the practice time. I think that seems to be the most normal part of the day right now. And I enjoy being in the gym with guys, and that time we have, preparing has been great. So I'm still, that deep breath may not come for a while, but we're having fun preparing.
What jumps out at you about Virginia Tech, another team that kind of was in the mix in the NCAA tournament conversation, but didn't quite make the cut? What jumps out at you when you look at them?
Really good team with some experience, a lot of experience, and really well coached. I think Coach Young he does a great job. He's build a reputation for being a great offensive mind in college basketball. They're a really good offensive team again. And so it's a big challenge. They're a good team. And we have to have, we had a good day yesterday. We need to have an even better day today leading into tomorrow.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for being here. So I'm curious, just in terms of the college basketball calendar right now, you're dealing with transfer portal and trying to figure out where you'll go there. What has that looked like for you? It's obviously been a whirlwind in general, but with the transfer portal added in, how's the past week been with that?
Yeah, it's been busy, but I think you have to be able to balance both, serving the overall program well, but making sure that the guys we have on this team right now, Team 125, are getting our full attention to, to put ourselves in the best position to win and keep playing. And it's multitasking, essentially. But we're not going to let anything else take away from, serving this group and this team as best as we possibly can, and preparing as best as we possibly can for Saturday. And then when we have, the moments that we're able to, we're certainly monitoring the portal.
All right, and then we'll go Steve Hellwagon and Patrick Ingles on next. Steve.
Yes, Jake. In terms of the game the other night, going down to the final minute, and you guys are able to pull it out, does that reinforce just kind of the lessons that are gained from playing in the tournament like this? Just that you're hoping to gain so much more for all of your young players, and that's just one more experience that they can rely on when they get into a tough situation, I guess, that they were able to pull through. Did that just kind of reinforce that decision, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about, there were a number of guys on this team, both, some of the younger half of our roster and the older half, who hadn't played in the postseason. And, I've talked about how challenging of a team that is to prepare for with such a quick turnaround, but I thought the last kind of 3-4 minutes of the game was really, it was a great experience for us. And like we've been able to do here, in this last kind of month and some change, our guys stepped up. Jamison hits a big shot. We're able to get the stop we need. I think that's a great experience for all of us.
And if I can ask, one of your incoming players, Colin White, Mr. Basketball, just your thought about that. I know you guys signed him back in November. I presume you're able to freely comment about him. That's got to be kind of a neat thing to have that, and he's obviously played in the state Final Four as well.
Yeah, Colin's a great player, and I think that you look at his track record of winning in high school, it's really impressive. The qualities he brings, he's obviously a really good basketball player. He's got skill and some versatility, but I think those intangible things that he brings are going to be really valuable for us moving forward. And we'll be rooting for him here down the stretch this weekend. And it's been so impressive when you look at the totality of his career. He was certainly deserving of the Mr. Basketball award, and we're excited to have Mr. Basketball coming to Ohio State.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Now we'll go Patrick Ingles and then back to Adam. Patrick.
Yeah, hey Jake. So with Scotty out last game, it seemed like you went a little bit deeper to your bench with Bowen Hardman came in the second half. He hit a pretty clutch three in the top of the key, and then also Taysom saw a lot of minutes too, or I guess increased minutes from the last couple games. So is that something you anticipate doing this coming game too, just with you guys being a little bit thinner?
Yeah, I mean, I want to continue to utilize our depth. I think, some of the last game we had to do a lot of teaching on the fly, and you probably saw guys coming out, and I had the board and we're drawing up things, trying to really teach because the unique style that they played. So we were substituting regularly because we were making adjustments throughout the flow of the game, and we had to do it quickly. The way that pace of the game was going, we couldn't wait till a timeout a lot of times to really just to have those teaching moments. But listen, Bowen stepped up. We needed some shooting at that time, and he knows. Told him this, like, if you have any little bit of space, you got to let it fly. And it was a courageous shot. Really, it was a big shot. And so, and Tayson, Tayson's done some really good things for us here these last few weeks, and we want to keep giving those guys minutes and experience, but we'll utilize our depth again as far as what that looks like. That's a lot of that is feel in game. We go into the game with the intentionality to play more guys. And then as it goes throughout the flow of it becomes a feel and kind of who's playing well and what matchups require. So that's the plan.
Cool. Thanks, Jake.
Yep.
All right, actually, we'll switch it up here. We're going to go to Noah Weiskopf here real quick, and then we'll circle back to Adam. Noah.
Hey, Jake, can you just touch on Devin and what you've seen out of him and his development?
Yeah, Devin's been really good. He's been really good down the stretch. Devin works hard, and I think he's got some great feel and instincts, and the game has started to slow down for him a little bit more. He's getting more comfortable playing at that faster pace. You're starting to see the versatility that I think is only going to improve significantly with another really good off season. So Devin's got a really bright future, and the exciting thing is he's also a really good player right now, and we got to keep utilizing that. It's going to, he's important for us tomorrow night, certainly, but I think you're starting to see some of his what he has potentially, what he can become potentially, and it's really exciting, and he's earned it. I think that's the best part. He's talented, make no mistake about that, but he's also earned it with how he's worked and things like that.
All right, we'll go Adam Jardy and then finish off with Tim Miller. Adam.
So Jake, when you got promoted, you had said how you'd moved TD up to a little bit more of an in-game role to try to fill that void, because obviously you're down a coach, and then the other night you're down another coach. Jack Owens is at DePaul now. So who stepped into that role, and how are you still kind of you're down a man, you're down 2 men, I guess. Like how are you piecing that together? Who's doing what on the bench right now?
It's all hands on deck right now. And Nick Kellogg and Terrence Dials, those have been the two guys who have had to step up into, significantly different roles, I would say. Brandon and Mike and, myself, like we've got a good cadence. We kind of had that even prior to Jack moving on. But Terrence and Nick have now stepped into some, real coaching roles and they've done a great job. I think it's a great experience for them. They have a connection with our guys. So the coaching part, that part wasn't challenging for them. But yeah, it's been fun to see them kind of just move into a different role, and they've done really well with it.
What are the challenges of everyone facing that uncertain future? And now there's the big piece in place with you being the full-time head coach, but like those decisions that obviously impact all those guys at a pretty high level, and they're trying to figure out future plans here, there, wherever. How do you have those conversations with the guys on your staff? What has that been like? Have you been able to figure anything out permanently for next year yet?
Yeah, we're starting to figure some things out, certainly, and we've had just very open and transparent dialogue. And I think, you're seeing, right, just how committed of a group we have to serving this team well. And when we made this decision to play, everybody was like, everybody had an opinion and everybody had a voice to say if this was the right thing to do. And when we kind of surveyed the room and, this is what we wanted to do, and we got some high character, talented guys on staff who have followed through on that commitment. And, our focus really is just on this team. Like I said, there's some multitasking that has to happen, certainly, but we are committed and focused to this group because, what's at stake for some of our seniors and guys who this is, every time we step out there right now, it could potentially be their last game. And so I'm super appreciative of everybody in the program, who have just stayed committed to serving really well.
And what was it like last night to watch? I don't know how much of the tournament you're dialed into, but watching Golke do what he did for Oakland, you saw that firsthand when the season started. You know what kind of team Oakland had. But what was that like to maybe see that unfold and maybe flash back to the first game of the season?
Yeah, I missed his first half. I was trying to watch a little bit more Virginia Tech, but when I got some texts and some things, I turned it on and saw, he may hit a couple. I think maybe he hit a couple more in the second half. But yeah, we got to see firsthand just how talented of a shooter he is. And, Greg runs he runs some great actions for him. And we knew they were a really good team. We knew that back in November. So, this time of year, it's hard for me watching those games right now, unless I have a personal connection, just because, we wanted to be in there and we felt like we had really given ourselves a chance to do that. And so, we got to get to work to make sure we're not sitting back watching next season. But yeah, a guy hits I think it was maybe 8 threes in the first half. He hits those 8 threes and you felt like maybe better check in on this, could see some history.
Awesome. Adam, it's not quite all hands on deck. I'm still waiting for a tap on the shoulder call on some offensive sets, but we'll see what happens tomorrow night.
We get that deep down the depth chart, Gary, and we actually might be in trouble.
All right, we'll finish off with Tim Miller. Tim.
Yeah, so a question in regard to Virginia Tech. So I think that your season-long pace, I want to say 65.3, theirs is 65.2. Obviously, you just went with up against Cornell, switching everything, just kind of playing all 5 positions, and they were a lot quicker pace. Do you think that this game, even with more, perceived talent, will be more comfortable for you guys, more comfortable of a matchup than Cornell was?
I don't want to undermine what they do because they're really good at it. So I don't know if more comfortable is the right way to say it. It'll, they'll be a little more deliberate, I think, offensively than what we saw, and we may not be in as many advantage situations offensively as we were against Cornell. But we still want to make sure we are pushing the tempo and taking advantage of early clock opportunities. So that's something we have to continue to get better at. We've grown significantly from where we were, prior to middle of February to after, but moving forward, like that's how we want to be and how we want to play. We want to be able to change ends. We want to be able to, take advantage. Like I said, it's specifically in Big Ten play, it's so hard to score if you're going against a set Big Ten defense over and over and over again. You got to be able to push the pace and take some chances early in the clock. So we want to continue to do that. I think there's some similarities to what they do to maybe, some Big Ten teams, but yeah, well, I don't feel real comfortable right now as far as guarding some of those Mike Young actions. I mean, he's a really good coach. He's going to dial up some good stuff, but we'll be ready. We had a great day of prep yesterday. We need to finish it off today with another great day. Have a good walkthrough and shoot around stuff on tomorrow, but it's a different game. Certainly, this will be a different style of game, but we still need to try to push the pace and create more possessions.
One thing I noticed too with Virginia Tech, they're not a huge defensive rebounding team. They look to go back and stop transition. So how do you see kind of strength on strength there with you guys wanting to push it, Virginia Tech not wanting to allow that?
Yeah, we got to run hard, and we got to advance the ball up the floor and see if we can get some early paint touches, whether that's through the post or off penetration, and try to create some rotation early. Like that's what we want to do. A team like this who's going to get back well, you want to try to find a way to get them in rotation early in the possession rather than later in the possession. So we'll have some ways that we think we'll be able to do that. But I think we just, part of our depth, the good thing about our depth too is, we can hold guys accountable to running and running harder. And it's been a real asset for us. And our guys have embraced that too.
Awesome. Jake, thanks.